Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard, and this is my son Nathan.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing a review and comparison of two different games with a similar mechanic. We have Toilet Trouble, which is published by Hasbro Games, and we have the Spitting Camel game, which is published by Fotorama. Now, these two games have a very similar mechanic. It's about water coming out, spraying in your face, and which, you know, that's pretty unique all by itself. Now, they're both for ages 5 and up. The Spitting Camel game is for one. It says really you'd want to play with more than one, but they say it's for 1 to 4 players. The toilet game is for 2 and up, as many players as you want. So they have a basic similar mechanic, but I really want to compare these because, in my opinion, one of them is clearly better than the other. So I'm going to hopefully help you decide if you want something. If you're looking for a game that sprays water in your face, I want to help you figure out which one you want. So let's go ahead and go to the table and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is what the Spitting Camel game looks like whenever it's been set up for the most part. I'm going to show one little part of the setup. But you have all these little soda bottles. These are going to go in his crate on his back. This is how you win. You're trying to get the most of these little soda bottles. You also have a little water dropper that you fill up with water, and you squirt the water into his mouth. Okay. In this case, I did not get enough water from one of these, so obviously I didn't get enough. So let me go ahead and take a quick pause, and I will add a little more. Okay, so now I've got enough water in his mouth. Takes a couple of good squirts, apparently. I've got it almost overflowing. You probably can't really tell on the camera. Now, the way this game works, you have 3 games that you play. You have notches over here on the side. I'll go ahead and turn them around. You may not be able to see them that well. Well, yeah, you can see them. One of them that shows on or off, you can turn them on. Okay, so whenever you turn them on, we also have a slot over here, I should say, for how many players you're going to play with. 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is set up for 3 players. So this is what's going to happen. The first of his little coconuts, or whatever you want to call these things, is lighting up. That signifies the start of the first game. The first game, let me show you how it works. You see how they're all lighting up. And this right here is always the same. You're supposed to guess where the pea is hidden, or the little stone or pebble. So you just randomly pick one. And in this case, I failed. Now, I don't know if you noticed, it spit at me, and it was very little. So now what happens? So basically, this is totally random. There's no way to know. There's no pattern. You don't have to look at the last one and go, "Oh, that's the one that it's hidden under." You can't know. So it's literally just pre-programmed. Whatever it is, whatever you pick is just a random guess. So the second player gets a chance to do this. So it does the same pattern. And as the second player, I'll pick this one. And I failed again. Nothing I could have done. So now it's the third player's turn. And they get to go through the same process. That means I got it right, and I get a soda. Now it's the second game. Now this one, I don't really understand why it works this way. So you pick it. It shows 2 numbers, or a sequence. So 2 just lit up, and then you have to do it in order. So, oh well, I didn't. I took too long. So, if you take too long, then it makes you lose automatically. I'll have to cycle back around to show you what that does. I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now here's the thing. I just did the first sequence of 2. Now you hit it again. Okay, so there's 3 now. So you do them in order. Now, this would technically, you could look at this as the third player's turn, maybe, but obviously that would be too simple. So I have to, the rules do not make this clear exactly how you're supposed to deal with this when you have several players, because it just keeps becoming a larger sequence of lights that you have to follow. And it doesn't make it clear that it's another player's turn, so how do you win? That's the question. How do you whenever there's three players, everyone gets a turn, so I'm going to go ahead and lose this one. But in every other case, in the first game, it's clear that each person gets a round. In this case, I lost, and it goes to the third game. Not everybody seems to get a turn on this one. I don't understand that. So we do this, and in this one, you just have to hit everything that lights up as soon as it lights up. If you wait too long, you lose. In this case, the first player won. Now, the second player gets a turn. Let's say they fail. They get spit at. And now it jumps back to the first game, even though it's set for a 3-player game. I'm confused. I don't understand. So we go back to this where you just have to randomly pick one. Oh, I got a soda. Now, I don't have the heart in me, I don't think, to continue with this one. So I just don't know. So I'm going to turn this off. So I'm just going to come out right and say that this part is a little frustrating to me because I don't understand the rules. The game doesn't, the instructions don't explain it that well, how the second game works, because, in fact, let me just read to you from the instructions. It says, number 2, sequence. This time the middle coconut will blink, signaling the beginning of the second challenge. Press this middle coconut when player is ready. The challenge is an increasing random sequence of blinking coconuts, starting with 1, then 2, then 3, etc. Repeat the sequence exactly as you remember it. The number will continue to increase by 1 each time the player is correct until the challenge is over. But as we saw, that there's two possibilities. One is that eventually, if you remember the entire sequence whenever it maxes out, maybe you can win that way. But if you lose, it just moves on to the third game. That means that the other 2 players don't get a chance to try. So, and I don't think I've ever made it far enough to actually win, if there is such a thing. I don't understand it. So the only other thing that you need to know about this game is that there's a random point where this box with all the sodas, it will explode a little bit, and the sodas will pop out, and everyone can scramble and grab however many they can and get those free points. Other than that, you just get points from each time that you win a challenge. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and move on to the toilet game. Okay, so this is the toilet game. It's obviously a very realistic setup. You've got your lid and your flushing handle. So, and you have your toilet paper roll. Basically, the way this game works, you're going to have each player, and as I said before, you can have as many players as you want. You're going to spin this. It's going to tell you a number. In this case, I got a 1. And what's going to happen is you're going to pull this lever to flush it. Now, at first, whenever you set it up, you're supposed to flush it a certain number of times until it I'll show you. Okay, there you go. Okay, so it's clearly ready now. So now each player, you're gonna roll. You're gonna, whatever you roll. In this case, I got 2. You're gonna flush it twice. 1, 2. It goes to the next player. They're gonna spin. They're gonna get 2. Then we get to the next player. They get 3. Okay, it's fixing to happen. Next player gets a 2. Okay, well, there you go. As you can see, this shoots water. The Camel game, not so much. I lost a few times, and you can barely see anything happen. It doesn't really. You might get this tiniest little blob hit you. This thing sprays at you. You know, whenever it hits, it's coming to get you. So, probably giving away a lot here as far as my opinion. So I better go ahead and stop, because that's really all you need to know about playing this game. I don't know, honestly. I've never tried to take it apart. Once you take it out of the box, you piece this together, and maybe you can take it apart to put it back in the box. I just got rid of the box and I leave it set up all the time because it's just easier. Even if you can, I don't want to have to put it back together. So anyway, let's go ahead and go to final thoughts. Okay, so we're just going to start right now by seeing what Nathan thinks. Nathan, Tell me, what is your opinion of the Spitting Camel game?
I think it's pretty good.
Okay, you think it's pretty good. What do you like about it?
What I like is he spits, and it's kind of silly.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. It is. I mean, it's definitely a funny type game. I mean, he laughs at you when you lose, and then he's spitting at you and everything.
And then the things where you go in order.
Yeah, the coconuts where you have to actually do them in the sequence. You like that?
I like that.
Okay, so you like some of the games that you play in that.
I do.
Okay, so what would you rate the Camel game?
I would say it's 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. So this one's not one of your favorites at all.
It's not one of my favorites.
But you enjoy it.
I do enjoy it.
Okay, now let's talk about the toilet game. What do you think about the toilet game?
I think it's pretty good.
I should go ahead and officially call it Toilet Trouble. The Toilet Trouble game. What do you like it?
I like it.
What do you like about it?
It's that kind of the same thing, but then you get to roll how much flushes you get, and that's pretty fun. And it spits on you better.
It does spit on you a lot better. I mean, the water just it plows you down pretty much. It's sometimes a little scary. You're almost nervous because you know it's coming.
Sometimes I even get a little nervous.
You do. And whenever my wife plays with us, she'll sometimes get a little towel and protect herself because she's so afraid of the water.
She's pretty afraid.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So what would you rate the Toilet Trouble game?
I would say 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. So you like it a little more than the Camel game?
I do, because it spits on you better.
Okay, yeah, that's for sure. So now, Nathan, you go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and give my opinion. So I'm going to stop it right here and let him get out of here. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. You see this picture here of this kid getting sprayed? That does not happen in the Spitting Camel game. That's totally misrepresenting. On the other hand, in the toilet game, as you saw, you get sprayed just like that. So that's about all I think I need to say about my comparison here. But I will add one other thing. See, the way the games work in the Camel game, it's confusing. Everyone in the first one, where you randomly pick, it's pure luck. You have no idea which one to pick. I think the instructions even tell you it's totally random. So that's kind of disappointing that you can't possibly know. It's just pure chance if you win or not. But everyone at least gets a chance to do that one. The second one, where you're doing the sequence, it's not clear. Every time that you succeed in the sequence, do you get a soda, or do you pass it around to everyone else, or are you supposed to go all the way through and get to an end point that I've never achieved yet? Which, maybe that says something about me, but I don't get it. I don't understand, because whenever you lose, it jumps to the third game. So I don't know when other people are supposed to get their turn to play the second one, and it's just not well designed. I'm sorry. Components are kind of neat, but functionally it doesn't spray like it's supposed to. So the whole gimmick is wasted. On the other hand, the toilet game, the gimmick works perfectly. You're flushing it, and it just, boom, it just blows your face away with water. So it does what it's supposed to do. How in the world that Camel game ended up being this lackluster, I'm sorry. I understand it's a kid's game, and kids, obviously Nathan likes it. He enjoys it. He actually wants to play it at times. He'll say, I want to play the Camel game. Okay, let's play the Camel game. I dread it, personally, but I play it for him. And I just don't understand. I just don't know why this game was made the way it's made. But, hey, if you think that I'm being too harsh, please let me know in the comments. But to me, there's just no comparison. It's fiddly and not intuitive how it works. Doesn't spray well. The toilet game, I keep on calling it toilet game, but Toilet Trouble, it just does what you're supposed to do. You roll, you see how many flushes, you flush, you get sprayed in the face. Big time. I mean, that's what I want in this kind of a game. It's a gimmick game that's designed to just, you want to get splashed with water, this is the game for you. So hopefully that helps you understand which one of these is better. Obviously, you know my opinion. The Camel game, I'm going to give it a whopping 1 out of 10. That's probably too harsh, and if you think so, let me know. But 1 out of 10 is all it can get from me because of my vast disappointment from seeing the box and then getting what I got. On the other hand, I'm going to give the toilet game 7 out of 10 because it at least met my expectations. It did what I expected and wanted it to do. So that is the summation of my opinion in my comparison of these two games. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comments. And if you don't mind, I'd like it if you'd subscribe. And in the future, I hope you keep watching my videos. And I will see you then. Thank you very much. Talk to you later. Bye.